And welcome. It is Sunday, it is afternoon, and I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood, here with ready to dive into my beta reader feedback. Dun dun
Ah,
dun. So,
Yeah.
I hope you have a snack and I hope you're ready to have fun. So, as always, I don't do this alone when I can have some friends come help me out. So, everybody say hi to the nice people.
Hi to
hi,
the
nice
nice
people.
people.
So, did y'all want to introduce yourself? Let's start with Sako today because she usually
Howdy.
introduces last.
Yeah, howdy neighbors. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror under that name. I am a witch and I write horror, right, which I just said. And also, I'm a graphic designer. Sometimes I combine those three things. I am working today on video scripts for the retooling of my YouTube channel. I'm not going to leave you AuthorTube. However, I am tacking on another community onto my account.
Oh,
So
tell me more. Tell us
I
more. Like, does
yeah,
he have a car? No, really though. Tell me what are you branching out with?
I am giving advice to people who want to play RPGs.
Oh, okay. That is entirely in your wheelhouse.
It is. It is. So
But
collaborative storytelling in all its forms.
yeah, yeah. Between your RPG experience and the fact you write lit RPG sometimes, and yeah. So, and my other guest.
Hey, I'm Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure, and I'm tired today. But I'm going to muscle through it because I have got a deadline for a short story on at the end of this month, and I need to get this sucker finished. So
Oh, I don't
I
have
shall.
permissions to rename. Oh wait, yes, haha, haha.
What are you going to do? I said I am Doc Coleman, and I am tired.
I clearly misunderstood. For those
Uh,
who weren't watching just then, I
yeah.
renamed Doc's label to be tired because who doesn't appreciate a good solid dad joke?
Andy's hilarious.
Uh, Andy is here with us. Hello and welcome. Andy says, "Woo! Dear Abby for TTRPG, folks. Dear Sako, my friends find Wraith too cheerful. Can you recommend a darker game?" For those who
Prop
don't know, Wraith is about the wraith of a dead person. So
usually,
it's
yeah.
it
It's
starts off,
it's an RPG about ghosts, basically.
yeah.
It's
It's
great flavor to add to a World of Darkness game, but I think it would be very boring on its own merit.
Yeah.
Same with mummies. Same with like there
And,
was a couple others that
and make sure you're actually playing the World of Darkness games, which were all about the upcoming apocalypse, and not the later version of the games, which is better described as the World of Insufficient Light. Yeah, they rebuilt the games and they took away the apocalypse and they made it much more light and fluffy and
Apocalypse
I
Later.
disagree. I disagree. I think they took a lot of the asshattery and racism out of old World of Darkness and they cleaned it up. And they are slowly releasing modules like by night that, were so it's a continuation of the old universe, not a reboot.
Erasure. Okay.
Yeah, it's not an erasure.
okay. The volumes admittedly I stopped looking at the volumes several years ago. The volumes I saw were basically a reboot of the World of Darkness. But
Not quite a
Hey,
not quite a reboot.
I only ever played Dark Ages for the most part. So
Nice.
okay, no, I did Changeling. That was recent.
Changeling the Lost was probably the darkest game that I played.
I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
I
if
agree.
you want to play with trauma, Changeling is a great space.
A great
I
space
agreed to play werewolf, and I got sucked into over a dozen years of different vampire campaigns.
Oh wow.
And then we kept talking about playing mage, but we never did.
I run a mage game on my channel.
Mhm. Andy says, anytime someone says, I want a darker game, I say cult with a K, but don't say I didn't warn you.
Yeah.
I am unfamiliar with cult. Have you played cult, Sako?
I have not. I've almost convinced a GM to run Little Fears.
Oh, I
which
gotta
is-
play a round of that at a convention once. So a one shot.
Nice.
And I really want to play more.
I would love to play like a mini series of Little Fears. Like that's like on my goal. One of my goals as far as my RPG career. Like
Sure.
I super want to play Little Fears.
Yeah. When I first started off gaming, I found out that, if you give your character a backstory, then the GM will, bleep you over. And then I learned I'm not as invested in the game if I don't care. So I want to give the GM as many hooks as possible so that my character's invested in the main storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
So
this is
I guess
especially true when you've played with GMs who are like dating other people in the group, and you notice how that person's characters always are main characters in the story.
No.
That is a poor GM. That is a poor GM.
Yes.
My sister struggled anytime bad things happened to her character, especially when her now ex-husband was GMing. She just, her emotional cope is like, I feel like I'm being picked on, and it's not that's not how she likes it. But for me, I'm like, yes. I may have accidentally ended the world twice. So
nice.
Accidentally.
Well, I mean, we were on a journey in the Fey realm and Exalted, and one of our past allies who'd betrayed us was like creating this childlike thing that like a lot of power was going into. And for once I actually got like, the attack roll that didn't put me last, and I one shot I killed the infant looking object, which was actually the concept of a cult. So everything locking the demons down and making society work collapsed and knocked Exalted back to the Dark Ages. So
the joy of Exalted.
And in 13th Age, I may have made a deal with a witch or something who took over my body and saved us from the basically outsider entities. But the deal may have not been so great on the flip side, what they got in return. So, oops.
Yeah.
My
statement when someone says that they're looking for a darker game is like, don't look at a different game system. Look at your GM and look at the people you're playing with.
Yeah.
I play horror games.
You can take any game system and you can play it really dark, or you can play it completely for comedy.
Yeah. So, okay. So Doc is working on a short story. Sako is working on preparing video scripts and such. Yes. I am starting my beta read stuff. I got followed up with my final beta reader, and they're like, oh, I thought because I wasn't hitting your deadline, you were just going to go ahead. And so there's a whole discussion. But they did give me a lot of feedback when we had that discussion. So I feel comfortable having at least like their intro or first third, feedback from that. So
Nice.
Plus, I don't think I was ready to really dive in before now anyway, since they wrapped up a week or two. We had that discussion as ramp up for NaNoWriMo was coming, and then December, I'm not a writer during December, so.
Yeah.
Andy is back on novel revisions, starting into chapter 19. Nice.
19 out of what, I wonder?
Yeah, that was my question. How many chapters, Andy?
I'm
How many
guessing
chapters?
36. I'm pulling a number out of thin air, like.
I think that is a logical number of chapters.
Yeah. I think my current story has a lot more chapters than that, but some of that is 3 point of views and keeping the pacing
that would
steady.
do it.
So sometimes I have to have like a short one just to not take too long to cycle back, because I am cycling through.
Yeah, I thought Perils had a lot of chapters because it ended up at being 34. But
so 19 out of 29. So yeah.
Okay.
That is nice. That is nice. Over halfway. That is nice.
High.
2/3, I would say. So,
okay.
Well, good luck with that. And anyone else who swings by, let's go ahead and get started. I think we're all feeling maybe a little productive today. Maybe. What do you think? Are you feeling productive? Okay, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, boom. Chakalaka. If you need to inspect, you can. And we're back. Hello and welcome, Morgan Lee and Paget. Thank you for joining us. So, how was everybody's friends?
I'm halfway done scripting this video on how to make a character,
Nice.
and it is applicable to both writers who are writing books and stories and role players. So
Okay.
it's like how to come up with your concept and how to flesh them out.
Right. Okay. Doc?
Let's see. I started off a bit slow, but I ended up getting 318 words written. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
And,
quite respectable.
And my Instacart shopper keeps making strange replacements on my grocery order, and I keep having to correct them. But
Oh,
that's frustrating.
Yes, it is. It wouldn't be frustrating if they like talked to you and said, "He's like, oh, they don't have what you asked for. Here's what they do have." But this person's just been replacing things, and it's like, no, these are not things I would have replaced with. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hello, Greg. Also, let's see. Popping into the comments, Morgan Lee says, I wrote more words. I don't know when I started, when I came into the stream, but I've written 1,700. Today, not necessarily during the stream. Okay. Still pretty solid. Nice. Go you. So I was consolidating all of the high level comments from my beta readers. And I ran across one comment. One of them actually filled out the survey rather than using it as talking points to put comments in. And they said that they struggled to picture my aliens and that I had trouble picturing the Rika natives. Maybe compare them to something on Earth might help. And I'm like, the tentacled aliens that hate getting called octopuses? Like,
that's comparing
I thought that was
them to something
pretty indicative right there.
Let's compare them by telling you what not to compare them to.
Exactly. So
they're not like octopuses. They're more like squid. No.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, I have my space manta rays, right? And I'm like, while the local aliens didn't mind us calling them after, that, they didn't like their comparison because they were so much further evolved and beyond that. Like, it's in there, it's in the text, like in the page. So I was a little confused by that comment. But yeah, so she also, shocking no one, my conflicts are a little too easily resolved. So I need to up the stakes. But not everybody had that same feedback. So I'm comparing and contrasting.
It's something to consider.
So I'll see where the other comments are. So yeah. Oh, hi. Jen Wright's Romance just popped in. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
Yay. So Greg says, yeah, you can't please everyone. It's true. It's true.
That is super true. Super true.
You have to make sure you only please the important people.
Right. So now I have left to pop into a couple chat comments or chat discussions and copy paste feedback I got that way. So
nice. Okay.
Yep. So I'm gonna put all the high level stuff in one spot and then go through the inline stuff and see. So cool. A little weird right now working here because I don't have multiple monitors. So it might just be consolidation. So, but I don't do the full doc experience of reading through all the comments before I get started. I just dive in and fix the small stuff and leave the big stuff, and then circle back with the big stuff. Because
anything that I work the other way around,
yeah. If there's a lot of small stuff, I can't focus on the big comments. I just can't. I can't see the forest for the trees. I need to trim the trees, and then once I can see what's there, then I'm good. So
yeah, well, that's kind of why I put all the comments together, is that I don't want to start making changes on something and then have someone come back and say, oh, that was beautiful, don't ever change it. And it's like, no.
I have the old version, so Sako, your audio cut out, you were gonna say?
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Sorry.
Oops.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I go the other way around, where I take care of all the developmental stuff first, so I know what scenes need to be written, what scenes need to be fixed, and then very, very rarely am I taking stuff out.
Yeah, no, I don't usually take stuff out. But the small stuff is clarifying something or, grammar stuff, what have you.
Sure.
For big stuff, if someone tells me to take a scene out, I'll think about it. But very often I will try to make it more relevant, like hitting more of those character, the 3 points, Each scene should move forward the plot, move forward the emotional arc, or, grow the world. And if you can hit like 2 or 3 of those, then it can justify its placement in the story. So I just try to justify it better by making the scene do more. And if it doesn't work, I'm usually willing to take it out even after putting in the work. So but yeah.
I've had comments about people who didn't like a particular scene because they felt like it didn't move the story forward, and suggest that I should do more character development in its place. And then I look at the scene, it's like the scene is character development.
Yeah. So some people aren't necessarily internalizing, I think, where the character is coming from, so they're not maybe realizing what growth is being displayed. So,
or indeed how relationships are being defined.
Yeah,
I think that's more on the reader and less your problem.
Yeah. And some people struggle with social cues, like in person and on paper, and some people do better in person or vice versa. So it's all about where they're coming from and what sort of struggles they've had or seen happen in real life, whether or not they can understand what they're seeing on the page as character development rather than random conversation.
And that's one reason why I pull all the reader comments together, so that if I just have one reader who has a problem with a scene, then it's like, okay, maybe it's the reader and not the scene. But if I've got multiple, then
I do multiples
that week.
I have all of them open in different tabs, so I'm looking at the whole chapter at a time. I might go through the chapter for some high level stuff, but I'm looking at all 4 pages to see what they all say about each paragraph. It's not like I'm doing what. Although I did have on my middle grade that is malingering out in space. I had one commenter who would have like 8 comments per line. So I had to go through and clear out most of that before I could even like step back and and do that comparison between um,
Mhm.
all of the beta readers, and I just haven't done that second step. I did that one beta reader's feedback, and then I was going to circle back, and I just
Never
Yeah.
middle grade
Yeah.
seems harder to get into than YA fantasy, like as a market. And I don't have another
Yeah.
middle grade story, so I'm like, is it worth investing the time? I don't know.
Mhm.
So at least right now, you know, if I send something out and somebody's like, "Ooh, do you have anything else?" Then I'll have it, you know, ready to
Have it
polish
ready.
maybe.
It's always
Yeah.
nice when you have something else.
Exactly. I have a friend who is mostly a graphic. He does web comics, and he sent in a story once, and the agent said, you know, I like this, but I don't really know where to place it. If you have anything else, send it this way. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, no, don't totally do that. And he's like, it was like 3 years ago. I'm sure they've moved on. I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I'm
Holy
just,
crap.
yeah.
Given
I'm like,
such an opportunity. Holy
yeah. I'm like, even if it's been 3 years, 3 to 8 years, I think is still acceptable, because they don't want you to just, you know, if you don't have something ready, just throw something out the door. They want to know you spent time and effort on it, you know, especially for a debut writer. They expect it's going to take you a little longer, maybe, to get all of the finesse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We'll put
so another sprint.
another. It sounds lovely.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think we get time for another one.
let's do it. Uh, just let me find the right tab. Reset this sucker. 23 minutes, because Morgan is still easily entertained, and it's 2023. So in 3, 2, 1, boom. And also the 2025 slot works well for her. And we're back. So, how was your sprint?
Super good. I actually got. So I'm working on a logo for Tommy Smith, which you might remember from Imaginarium.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, he hired me to make the logo for him.
That's awesome.
And asked for progress, so I'm making progress on his logo right now.
Cool. Awesome. I'm super excited. So does that mean you took a break from the other
From the video scripting?
drafting?
Yeah, I took a break.
Yeah. Okay. I understand how that goes. Doc?
I got about 212 new words in, and
Okay.
struggled some with my Instacart shopper, just replacing items willy-nilly.
Still?
And yeah, a couple things she replaced. I had to tell her no, I don't want that, refunded.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not their fault. It's just what the grocery stores have, and
Yeah.
sometimes they just make poor replacement choices. But
Yeah.
and I also discovered that I need to do a bit of research. I need to have a witchy chant in this story, and I need some words. So, and
As above, so below. As above, so below.
Actually, I was just going to do a brief invocation to the Kaliak, and it's like, okay, I probably need to talk to one of my friends that knows Gaelic and get some translation.
Okay.
But
Nice.
I've got a placeholder for now. I'll fix it in post.
Right, because this is a short story. This isn't editing. Okay.
Yeah,
That
this
makes
is
sense.
the short story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
This is the short story that will probably be published before the novel that I'm revising.
well, we all know it's easier to finish 20 pages than it is 250.
Yeah. Well, it's also the fact that I have to publish the novel, and somebody else is going to be publishing the short story.
Yep. Yep.
And I have a kitten.
Oh, who's a kitty? Who's a good kitty? Hi.
Part of me wants to show off what I've got so far, and part of me is like, but I should reserve it for the.
You should reserve it for the Patreons who are paying you for it.
Not the Patreon, but
the client.
The client.
Oh, the client. Yeah, definitely the client.
Yeah. The client gets first view. So, popping to the comments, Andy got 6 pages edited, and now a cat needs something.
Shocker.
Shocking. Shocked I am. That a cat
Catticus
could need something during a live stream.
Catticus is sitting right there, looking very worriedly at the door for no reason.
Like
this
he's
is
protecting you.
I don't hear anything weird or anything like that. I don't know. So, let's see. Andy got another 2 pages edited, and Zoe still demands attention. Greg is enjoying Sako's quote-unquote fire.
Oh, I thank you.
And Greg says hi to Catticus. Hi. Huh? He's on high alert. It's weird. Maybe because he didn't investigate when the roommates got home, and so he knows that there's noises, but he doesn't know what they are, and he has to guard Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? So
could very well be.
At least he's not biting your ankles, right?
He's in fact not. He's all couched down and in his nap spot. So, but staring worriedly at the door.
All right. I'm going to send him what I've got so far, and hopefully he'll like it.
Sure. Yeah.
It's pre-vectorized.
Pre-vectorized?
I have not vectorized.
For your enjoyment.
I have not I have not vectorized it yet, which I intend on doing. I need to make a version that is all one color.
We like to call that monochrome.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah. Oh, happy Lunar New Year.
Yes, happy new moon on top of it. Yeah,
Right? Oh my goodness.
it is a good time for intention setting. Oh my gosh. If you want to manifest stuff, do it tonight.
Hmm.
Do it
I
tonight.
am going to finish this short story on time. Which still means I have a week. No.
Which still means you have a week.
Still means a week. But yeah.
It also gives you resolve,
Mhm.
that you will finish it before the time is up.
Oh, I find it ridiculous this past week because the Twitter machine for advertising the Kickstarter that's going to fund this anthology and another one have already gotten started. So every time I look at Twitter, I've got a whole bunch of references because I'm being called out in the ads for the book, the ads for the Kickstarter, people liking them, people retweeting them, and it's like, okay, suddenly I am so popular.
I yeah, you are put in the spotlight, so you better follow through.
Yeah. It was like I really need to finish this story, and they really need to like it.
Yeah.
And it's like the number of times I see this stuff is like when I'm publishing a book, I don't have the personal resources to schedule that many tweets.
I'm gonna do one color version.
Although
Dun dun dun.
Although
I was just say they've already put out the cover art for this anthology. And it's actually looking pretty nice, but
nice.
And I just realized it's like I don't think I've actually pulled down a copy of it.
Oh, you should totally have a copy of it
for my own purposes.
Yes, for your own marketing and stuff.
Yep.
And also portfolio adding and things. Oops.
As long as you have, permissions to use the art for your own. I know sometimes licensing is weird, so I would.
Very true. Very true. I would check with them and make sure.
Double check with the publisher, but usually, especially for small press and stuff, the more promo, the more promo. But
yeah,
you need to know what the artist rights are.
They've asked me to do posts promoting this, so along with that is at least advertising rights to say I'm going to be in this anthology. Here's the lovely cover.
Oh, I'm yawning at you again. I'm sorry. So,
it is a tired day.
It's a rainy Sunday.
It is a rainy Sunday.
So
snow for some people.
Yeah. If Devin hops in later or watches on the rerun, another 75-minute sprint might be coming in the future. I like long sprints when I'm editing. Not today, dear God, not today. But when I'm editing chunks, it can definitely go longer. Although if I do a long sprint, it'll be at the end of the stream, so Sako and Doc can duck out if they need to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to put y'all through that. But yeah, when I'm editing, longer chunks work better for editing for me and shorter chunks for writing.
So I
Yeah.
just pulled down a copy of the picture. Would you like me all to share it with you?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Let me see if I can do this.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Share screen. I don't want to share the whole screen. I just want to share a window. Let me share the right window. There
Oh,
it is.
that's gorgeous.
Yeah,
That's
I
I'm
gonna
not
love
sure
that.
who the artist is, but this is like the first in a Forgotten Lore series. Hence all the copper work up front and the cast of crows. They've got some nice artwork to go with it. Um, and it wouldn't surprise me to find out that there's a little bit more words on the final version, but this is a nice sneak preview version.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Andy appreciates the plague doctor
no.
mask, and
Yeah,
Greg
it's kind of rad.
says it's very nice because oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
It is. It is very lovely.
So, popping into the comments, hello Kelly and welcome. He's advancing a short right now, and he borrowed a Read Z prompt, but the idea took off, and he wants to keep this one for himself. Now he feels he owes Read Z a story. Oh,
Sure.
nice. So, but yeah, he's joining in the ooh, such a pretty cover.
Thank you.
Mm.
I had nothing to do with it. I'm just writing stories to go behind it. Well, story.
Right, right. So, should we do another sprint?
I think
It is.
we have just enough time for another sprint,
I think so
Yep.
too. So let me find
so
the
I can
tab
get
real
back to
quick.
my sprinting.
Yes. So, okay, 23 minutes. Let's go ahead and get started in a 3, 2, 1, boom. Chakalaka.
Oh. Finish that thought phase. Oh no.
Okay, and we're back. Sorry, I removed myself instead of the timer window and unmuted myself. One needed to be removed, one unmuted. So, how was your sprint?
Good. I finished writing a whole video on how to make a character.
Yay, that's awesome. Doc?
I'm pretty sure I got at least 300 words in. I forgot to take a good look at where I was at the end of last sprint, and when this one started, I just started writing. So I'm now up to a total of 916 words for the day.
Nice.
I'm into the action scene that brings about the denouement. So I feel really good about finishing off this short story and within the course of the week, and then I have to go back and edit part 1 because I was a bit redundant at the beginning, and it needs to be trimmed down a lot. But
that makes sense.
Gotcha.
It's like I had a 5,000 word limit, and I'm not even at 4,000 words yet, and I'm going to be cutting. So I think this actually may be one of the shortest ones I've done in a while. So
nice. Snaps. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I read through all the first chapter notes, and I was trying something stylistically that read to half of my beta readers as me not understanding how grammar works. So I'm thinking it didn't work. Yeah. I'm like, I know grammar. It was a stylistic choice.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be lyrical so that the rhythm of the words and the sentences were like, they're like.
Can you give us an example of the cadence of the sentence?
Let me see.
It's obviously a case of she wrote it to be lyrical and they didn't get it. So
they said the language and everything was way too contemporary, so stop trying to make it sound like a fairy tale. Basically, was half the feedback. And some of it wasn't
trying to make it like a fairy tale.
You are not my editor. You cannot tell me this.
The voice was not consistently fairy tale, so don't try it, because the majority of it was not. But I tried to throw in some callbacks, and it did not work for half of my beta readers. Let me see if I can find it.
Are you writing this first person or third person?
Third. And one of them said, "What accident? Tell us about this," on page 8, and it gets explained on page 12. And I'm like, the backstory should be not so close to the beginning. It's supposed to intrigue you.
Yep.
But maybe they were getting
obviously it intrigued them because they asked.
They asked.
So let me just.
So that's actually a good, because you intrigue them enough to get them to ask. Now you just have to decide where's the right place for the answer.
Yeah.
And it may be right where you put it in the first place.
Okay. I'll just jump straight to the beginning. Once upon a time, in the days long to come, there sat a little white house made of shells and mud on an alien shore. And in that house on an alien shore lived a woman who had once been a girl from the stars. So it was a voice choice, and they're like, this is repetitive, cut. And I'm like, but okay.
I like it.
So,
I think it works great the way it is.
I think, as I said, half of them hated it, half of them didn't. So I've got a lot to think about. So,
and it may just be a matter
who
of
the audience is. Yeah.
Well, it may just be a matter of making that narrative voice more
consistent
throughout the rest of the story.
Yeah.
That make it very obvious that this is a tale being told by a third party.
Yeah.
I could see that working. I could see that working.
Yeah. But a lot of it, but like each chapter kind of started off with that fairy tale vibe and then just faded back into a more, and now we're telling the story, which is how I normally see it done. And it did not work for some of my readers, though.
If you did it in every chapter, right?
At the beginning of each chapter, yes. Yeah. And then I launched into what they're doing. So, you know, it's I gotta think on it, I think.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Pushing Daisies? A couple episodes, I want to say.
It was narrated just like that. It was narrated in the beginning, and then like you saw everything that happened in the middle, and then it would do a narration at the end. And it was awesome. It was like a contemporary story that was told like a fairy tale.
Yeah, and actually hearing you read out that intro actually reminded me a lot of The Hobbit, the way that starts out. So if that was your goal, you're right on target.
That's exactly what I was going for. So,
yeah. As a writer, I like it. I think it's a poignant style choice, and not everybody's going to dig it, but I think for the kind of story you're telling, like it's outlandish enough where it can be told like a fairy tale.
Yeah, and sometimes when I had like they're grabbing several items, I would say they got this and this and this, and I would have multiple ands just for the rhythm. And and that came across as she doesn't know grammar. So
yeah. I've definitely seen things where it's like people are missing the style elements. It's like sometimes you have deliberate repetitions of words.
Yeah.
Because you're making a point in the comparison, and some people are just getting that it's like too much of the same word, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm keeping it.
You're missing the point. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I just proofread a little bit of newsletter from R.C. Scott, and he uses fragments of the stylistic choice.
Yeah, and that can be really, really, people have opinions on that one.
Yep.
There is a split audience for that, right? So in horror, I see it working, but like where it matters, and he's at the point where he's learning where to make it count.
Yeah, I definitely embrace the fragment when it comes to dialogue, because that's how people talk. It's word shrapnel. But I also do a thing where I kind of I think of it as writing in negative space. That I'll set something up, and then I'll have like a single short sentence as a paragraph by itself, because that gives it more impact.
Punch.
Give it punch. And I've noticed that some people definitely kind of don't get that, but what can you do? You can publish the story that you're proud of and hope your audience gets it.
You know, I think it varies on culture as well. Like in Hope's Chest, in Hope's Chest, there is a scene where they do not greet the werewolf in the room. And like the point is that they are snubbing him and not recognizing him as a threat, and kind of treating him like he's not going to do anything, when he is extremely dangerous. And like, so there is social nuance that is happening, and like my editor was like, "Oh no, he should totally be introduced in the, in the beginning," and I'm like, but the social snubbing is kind of the point.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
so that was an instance where I was like, being from South Africa and social standards being different there, and
Mhm.
like in the South, that would be a really loud statement towards the person who's being ignored.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, thoughts and things. So, anyway, we are at 6:30.
We are.
Let me pop
So
to the comments.
sad.
Pop into the comments real quick. Andy headed off to dinner, but got 10 pages rewritten or edited, so that's awesome. And Kelly just now is picking up where he left off after some polishing here and there. So awesome. Sorry, I'm on a folding table and it's less stable. So Kelly said it could be a case of the beta knowing too well common and popular no-nos that are not carved in stone. One of them is a professional editor, but dabbles a fair amount with. I mean, they're both people I respect in the industry. So, I mean, all of these opinions are. So, it's just decisions to make.
Yeah, and it could also just be that they're in their brain is heavily in the style they're used to working in, and hasn't realized that you've working in a different style.
Yeah, no one else has not understood that they're octopus people, but maybe I should describe it earlier in the first chapter. So, but to have that as the feedback at the end of the book, it seems like they may have missed some things.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just things are going on in the reader's life, and they just they missed stuff or forgot about stuff.
Yeah, or they started to get a picture, and maybe the writing style distracted them from the description or something. So, thoughts.
Aw, such a kitty, such a kitty.
Yay. Catticus is taking a bath right now.
Bye, kitty.
So, okay, well, let's see. Let's go find dinner.
Yeah.
Yep. I got groceries on the way. So.
Okay. So let's start with Doc for an outro.
I'm Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. If you're interested in finding out more about my stuff, then you can go to your favorite search engine and search for Doc Coleman Steampunk. And that will take you to doccoleman.com. It'll also take you to my Amazon author page where you can see all of the stuff I've currently got published. And you can also remember to keep your eye out for A Cast of Crows, which is an anthology that I'm currently writing the story for, but should be out before April 1st this year. We've got a Kickstarter.
No joke.
No, you're tired too, huh? No.
April 1st, no
April
joke.
1st, it's not a joke. Yes, no, it's a convention. It's the Telltale.
Right.
Telltale Steampunk Convention on April 1st and 2nd. But we intend to have the book there. But we're also going to be releasing a Kickstarter soon to help fund it.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for that.
Ooh.
I hope it is successful.
Yay.
So do I.
Yeah. So.
Howdy, neighbors. I am Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things, especially when I'm putting together a book. If you are interested in videos that pertain to collaborative storytelling, I am actually working on a whole bunch of videos that will be coming soon. They will be released on Mondays. First release tomorrow, which I'm super hyped. So keep an eye out. You might want to subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when a video goes live.
Okay.
Stop by sometime. I would love to see you.
Yay. And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. This week, I am a fantasy author and I blog, vlog, and podcast, writing tips from the pros, and of course, my own writerly musings. This week, over on the podcast, writing tips and writerly musings, was the secret to writing. It's a tip that I've heard from the pros and the rest of us that's super, super helpful on implementing all of that writing advice that you get and all of your ideas with this one little trick. So go check that out anywhere you get your podcasts. And over on the blog and the vlog this week, I had Facing Mortality, Writing Death and Dying in Fiction. They're notes from Capclave, I think. And I thought it was very fitting that I got to those notes during the week that is declared the most depressing week of the year. And on the blog, I also had this week's author spotlight guest, J.R. Conkle. So go check that out if you're interested. And we should be back next week. Wait, what's next week? Yes, definitely next week. So yeah, have a great week. And let me hit a raid over on, let's see.
Who is streaming?
Well, okay, I have two channels that I follow. One is writer Amy, but I think they are playing a game called Overcooked, and Travis Tavern Society, but they're just chatting. So where do we want to go?
Tavern Society.
Tavern. Okay. We'll head over to Travis's Tavern Society. And the rest of you on YouTube, have a great evening and have some good dinner. Check y'all out later. Bye-bye.